Jeffrey Dahmer soaked in blood. The Unabomber blowing up. Waco, Texas and Heaven's Gates. Alien modified men from apes. Hitler faked his death and then escaped. Bigfoot and the Mothman. Son of Sam talking to dogs again. Witches, ghosts and goblins. Mysterious noise and hauntings. Dark arts and the skull and bones. Most celebrities are probably cloned. So when you're feeling all alone, grab a beer and get stoned. I welcome you to the podcast Strange Brew. We're here to entertain you. We're here to entertain you.
It's about to get strange.
What do you call it? A disabled Jewish kid.
What?
Auschwitzig.
All right, it wasn't as bad as I thought.
I'm gonna start transitioning the dad jokes into fucked up jokes.
Great, that's gonna get real fun. It's not like people are already calling us fucking all sorts of things, calling us ableists and everything else that they call us. But we're here to have fun, make fun, and
it's going to be a good time.
And be strange. So welcome to the show. I am Tomcat, a.k.a. Tom Thompson, a.k.a. the Dungaree Doo.
I fucking hate you. Grow up. You're almost 30.
I know. I'm going to be 30, and Billy's going to be, how old are you going to be? You're going to be 26, right?
26.
I'm going to be 30 this year. Crazy. Billy's turning, and when this comes out, it will be his birthday.
Oh, then you guys got to send me stuff.
Yep.
Send me a bunch of stuffs in the mail.
There's some fans that want to send us stuff. There's a couple of fans that want to send us edibles. There's a chick
I would say my address, but what happened with the phone number? I'm gonna get some I'm gonna get hate mail.
Shout out this chick Daisy. She wanted to send you a book full of fun facts.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Yeah, so I might throw out the PO address, and then Charles was like, "Don't throw out your PO address." And I was
just
like,
give her
"It's
mine.
just the PO address, whatever."
Okay, give her mine.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, I want to see it.
So
appreciate you.
Let's get into this. This is going to be a little crazy. Obviously, we're going towards soon the Halloween season. For all the fans, we will be doing another film special. We're going to record at Billy's. It's going to be fun. We're going to dress up again.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. So to get into this season that is coming soon, my favorite time, we're going to get into another serial killer. So meet Jesse Pomeroy, the Boston Boy Fiend.
Ew.
Who became America's youngest serial killer.
How young? I want to.
I'll find out.
Is it going to be right now, or should I guess later?
Yeah, no, it can be. You can guess now if you want to.
I want to say he's going to be 11.
Close, but no cigar. You remember when we talked about killer kids? Yeah. How many kids do very fucked up things? I was talking about with that.
Oh yeah, we're talking
Bill at work,
7 or 8 probably.
Yeah, those kids that are psychotic. Those 2 kids that brought that kid out took him from the mall, and these kids were 8, 9. We talked about it way back when, and then they bashed that kid's head in next to a fucking railroad fucking station.
Which is you physically don't really have the strength to do that as a child, that young.
Yeah.
You can I remember being 7 or 8, and I couldn't flick a lighter. My thumb wasn't strong enough to flick the Bic, so but it set it on it to flick it, but I couldn't flick it.
It is crazy because when you get into the youth, and it's just how is this getting instilled? Serial killers usually get beat Richie or taught all these people that Richie
or just not taught.
Yeah,
this is you don't treat people whatever. It's just you're you, and then the kid's I'm me, and I kill people.
Yeah, and I think it'll be after this one. Me and Juan are going to get into Gerard Schaefer. It's already set up, ready to go, and he was a killer cop. And we were talking about. He didn't know that Richard Ramirez's cousin was came back from the Vietnam War and showed him all these tactics of hiding in a closet. And here's some
tactics you call them. Here's fucking creep.
Here's pictures of me abusing Vietnamese women. So that fucked him up. It's just
I hid in this closet for 3 Vietnamese weeks.
Yeah.
That's 4.5 English weeks to you.
I thought it was going to be 3 hours. That's a Vietnamese week. It's 3 hours.
Shit's so fucking rough.
But no, it's crazy when I remember when we talked about the killer kids, when they're that young, it is crazy. Those kids that they brought that kid out and then they cut his cock off. That was a long time ago when we talked about that. That was when Justin was still around.
Oh fuck, I don't even remember that. Yeah, probably blackout.
We obviously drank drank very heavily on the beginning of this podcast, as I've said. And
we still do. The only difference is we just start before we start drinking.
True.
Before it was like, and we'd hang out for 2.5 hours and be like, "You want to start now?"
I know, and we would drink first and have like shots of vodka, and then we just get into it, which it was the problem for sure. But I'm fucking. So everyone, check out the host heads page that I'm banned from for another 30 days. So, keep getting banned. So whatever, it is what it is. And then
I gave up on social media, dude. I haven't even been on shit I commented today on a post, and that was the first time I've done one in
Billy, busy bee Billy. But even Anton's like, I'm surprised you're not permanently banned yet. And I was like, they just keep giving me 30 days.
Is there a permanent ban?
Yeah, I think they can kick you off all of Facebook like that. Do that. I eventually want to get on the podcast. He's busy with his life, but Adam, he was like permanently banned from TikTok. They literally, he can't even open the app. It won't let him even open the app. They
I just saw his video the other day. Yesterday.
It might have been a Stitch or something like that, but it
was him. No, he just literally, or actually, it was just this morning I saw him.
I don't know how, unless somebody redid his video, The Truth Unlimited 11.
Yeah.
He's not allowed.
He might have been on a different thing, or he might have been on his friend's thing, but it straight up came up. I'm gonna find that after we're done. I swear to God, I just saw that this morning.
Weird, because I just talked to him.
It was on my page. So it wasn't an old one, because it literally just popped up on my homepage.
For the people that don't know, it was just someone that was like, maybe jump on the podcast, but he had like 40,000 followers on TikTok. A lot of people were liking his shit. He just talked a lot about COVID and the things that are going on. But I think what got him was there was a couple of videos, but one, he said, he's like, what if Hitler was right? What if, because the Jews own the central banks and all this stuff? And he's like, maybe he was onto something.
I've already said that on this podcast. That's all the good TikToks come from my jokes.
That's so
Everyone
true.
steals my shit.
So Jesse Harding Pomeroy was 14 years old when he killed 2 children in South Boston, but he had brutally beaten and disfigured others for years before.
But you said he was stupid young. Like how?
No, those other kids I was talking about. This is 14. You have some cognitive ability to understand what the fuck you're doing.
When you say years, you're talking like 5, 6. That's what I think of when someone says years. You were not 8 years old dismembering people's fingers.
Well, there's one kids that were 8. They cut off that kid's cockle.
I still don't know how they physically
fucking
did that.
cockle with a long and shiny blade.
Fucking love Jack Black. You couldn't have held him though. Like, how did you?
The kid was
down?
like 4 or 3. And they were like 8 and 10.
Oh,
so that's why.
Okay, that makes more sense.
I should have like a gross out fucking sound effect. So in 1874, Jesse Pomeroy became the youngest person to ever be committed of first-degree murder in Massachusetts. I know you guys don't like how I say it, Massachusetts. He was only 14 years old.
Why does it always come up?
I know. I don't know why. Because it's just like
fucked up city.
Just like Wisconsin, Massachusetts is fucked. Yeah, because eventually it might not be this year, but definitely next year of Halloween, we'll definitely be getting into like the Salem witch trials, which I think is like crazy. It's a bunch of hysteria, like we covered with that one chick. I don't remember her name. I'm just joking.
Oh yeah,
but right. It's like mass hysteria essentially. That's what it boiled down to. And maybe ergot, which is like it's like wheat going old, and then you would eat it, or you would put it in products like bread, and it would make people go crazy. It's fucking weird.
Not how they make alcohol.
Yeah, it's like wheat that's gone bad. I don't know the whole scientific terms of it.
Oh, they're probably talking like mold.
It's called ergot. That's what it's called.
It's probably fucking like mold.
And then it made people crazy.
Yeah, people are eating mold.
Yeah.
They're dying.
Yeah, so he's only 14 years old, but his crimes are so horrific and violent and bloody that he would spend the rest of his life in jail before dying in 1932. So let's get into what made this boy. Yeah, for the rest of his life. Just throw it all away to kill some people, I guess.
But he had no parents.
No, he had parents. His mom.
His parents should have been locked up, and he should have just been given to a good home. And then if he does it again, then he's in trouble.
This is like in the late 19th century, early 20th century. So nobody really gave a shit. Like, it's true. And bring up his mom and his dad. Man, they look haggard. The picture that I saw of his mom, she looks like she's a witch on her own. Yeah, she looks creepy. Born November 29th, 1859 in Charlestown, Massachusetts, Jesse Harding Pomeroy developed what people refer to as a humor when he was an infant. Though he recovered from this unspecific ailment, his right pupil had scarred at birth, and it would be covered with a thick film for the rest of his life. So he had like a white eye, one normal and one white, which made him even more creepier looking.
That's like the old man in the cemeteries that you see. Yeah. He's like, it always like shows a side view, and then he goes, he turns to the camera and
have you checked the children? What's that?
Have you heard from the children?
Jesse Pomeroy's childhood struggles remain debated. Some historians are adamant that his father, Thomas Pomeroy, a Civil War vet who worked in Charlestown Naval Yard, was abusive. Others maintain that he and his older brother, Charles, had a rather mundane upbringings. Jesse Pomeroy was 5 years old when his neighbors claimed he stabbed a cat to death and threw it in the river.
Good.
He sounds like some Aleister Crowley shit. Or Aleister Crowley's like, let me see just how I wanted to kill a cat because I thought it had 9 lives. I just wanted to find out if it had 9, but it just has 1.
That's a fair question. Let's go try.
Let's go
try with your cat.
Fuck that. Chelsea will kill you. But it always is that thing where, and he's only 5 years old, if this story is true. And it's like, how does that develop at such a young age? And that's why I have that crazy theory.
Well, curiosity helps anything.
Yeah.
And again, though, nowadays you're disciplined and trained by your fucking parents that you treat people good. Right off the bat.
Times.
But even that, like, you're in kindergarten, you're 4 years old and you smack somebody, you're like, you get ripped away and you're like, you don't do that to people.
Unless your dad puts cigarettes on you. It's like, I need an ashtray. Son, get over here when you're 5 years old. Then you turn to Freddy Krueger. You take children down to a boiler. I just always find that crazy. And that's always a trigger thing. But I always have that crazy theory that who knows, maybe serial killers and these people are possessed, or there's something just inherently wrong with their brain since they were a kid.
I think it's just raised.
Yeah.
Because people are all like that. Like, I know 100 people that, like, in my mind right now that the way they acted when they were that age, like, if nobody ever taught them any different, that they could have been horrible.
I guess I knew some bad kids. I wasn't as bad till I got older.
Yeah, but that's who you start becoming. Yeah. But like when you're just like girl, you just don't know any better. You're just like, oh, this is it.
Well, and especially if you have a father.
I used to just sit there and just like throw dinky. I was 3-4 years old, and my brother would be playing video games, and this is why I think he hit me when I got older. But I was like 3-4 years old, and he'd be playing video games. I just like whip dinky cars on the side of his head, and I'd be like,
funny.
It was hilarious watching him in pain. It was funny to me.
See, and they teach you almost that, like, even old school shit when when film started being created was like the Three Stooges. Pain's funny, right?
Yeah.
And then it's the whole theory too is it's like
when you're that young, you're not watching the Three Stooges.
I was.
You were not watching the Three Stooges at 3 years old.
At 5, I was. My grandpa used to watch this shit all the time. Just put it on, I'd be like, laugh at this. And it's like, all right.
Laugh at this. Like, where's Barney?
And it's just like if his dad is beating him, I wonder how young it is, because especially back then, it's just like, he does something just kind of wrong and his dad backs in him hard. He's in pain, so then he wants to inflict pain on other things. That's how I see it, because that's usually what
it is. That's why I got beat.
One of his teachers said he was particular, not bad, but difficult to understand. Pomeroy hated being corrected and ultimately became a loner who devoured pulpy. What?
Sorry, he hated being corrected because his dad kept fucking hitting him.
It's true.
He's like, don't hit me.
He's like 3 years old and he's like, Dad, and he's like, it's Dad, and he fucking just hits him.
Slaps him.
But it made him become a loner, and he would like devour these pulpy novels, like the savagery of the frontier, like all these like bloody war novels. When he was a kid, he's reading this shit, and it would be everywhere at this time because the Civil War was just kind of beginning and ending. Like 1850. When was he born? 1859. I can't remember that. The Civil War, I think, hasn't even happened yet. I thought it was like 1887. That might have been the end of it. But it's just this time era is all about war and destruction. And
I don't know. I'm terrible at fucking history years. I have no fucking idea.
I
know the War of 1812.
I can't even read them. 1800 AD BC.
AD BC.
Jesse's father reportedly beat him with a horsewhip.
Damn. Fuck, that hurt.
Da-na-na-na-na.
Inspector Gadget?
No. Whip it real good. Da-na-na-na-na. Remember the Simpsons where fucking Smithers has the licorice whip? Yeah. My licorice whip. Da-na-na-na-na. Stupid. So yeah, and he beat him with a horse whip, which probably fucking hurt, and ordered him to strip down naked so he could beat him with the horse whip.
That's gay.
That's sad.
That's gay.
Sad. Yeah, he's probably like, let me see your little pecker, little boy.
I want to see a little boy bum.
So I can whip it. You've been a bad boy. And his mother, Ruth, said he had a serious case of pneumonia in October 1871 and had left him not so well, in quotation. So it's like, got pneumonia and he went a little loopy.
He got all crazy.
His crimes began that winter. Around Charlestown.
Like, who's watching these fucking kids, man?
I don't know.
Nobody's watching the kids.
So around Charlestown, and children reported being beaten and sexually molested and assaulted by a larger boy. They said he had lured them away with promises of sweets. Want some candy?
Oh, he's the ice cream guy.
Daddy, chill.
That was not the right one. Did you mean to hit that one?
Kind of.
Oh, okay.
But like, you know, it's just like, have you seen Chi Chi Bang Bang?
Yes, but
Chi Chi Bang Bang, we love you. Do you remember that creepy guy that would lure in the children? And
no, I literally like the name sounds like dumb, obvious. Is that a song too? Chi
Chi Bang Bang, we love you. Hey ho, Chi Chi. And they make a flying car, and there's like these Nazis that are flying around. No. It's a Disney movie. You got to watch sometimes when you're like, I guess when you're drunk because you don't get stoned, but it's a fucked up, weird movie. It is extremely weird. There's like, they're kind of Nazi-esque like villains, and they fly around on like a blimp and shit and chasing them to get their technology for the flying car. But there's this creepy like child lurer, and he like has this creepy thing where it looks like this nice ice cream car, and he's like, get in, and then it flaps down. It's a cage. But I saw a funny video on TikTok where it's just like, it's obviously about them bribing people for the vaccine, and it's just like this guy, and he's like, free pizza, free fries, $1 million or fucking $1 million ticket for the lottery, and it's just like him with all the quotes and shit. But for everyone that knows this or doesn't, watch that movie, especially if you get stoned, because it's fucking weird and creepy, man. Disney movies back in the day. I don't know what. I
kind of like them.
Yeah,
they're intriguing. Weird.
So he would offer them sweets, and then he would violate them, disfiguring their faces and genitals with a knife and pins.
Ew, gross.
So fucked up, man.
I wonder if like he was the original guy to do that, and then everyone else is like, "Oh, you can lure little people with candy."
That works. That definitely works.
Hey, this little kid did it. I'm smarter than the little kid. I can do it.
And then all the pedophiles start like be like, "So Jesse, what did you do first? Did you give him the candy first, or did you say, 'Come here, I have candy'?"
Yeah. And then, like, did you lure him with one, like, as a taste, like drug dealers do?
Take a little lick. He, like, makes him lick the popsicle.
He gets, like, a fucking... Back. He's like, buddy, you like Charleston Chew, don't you? He fucking rips off the end. He's like, open your mouth.
Do you like Charleston Chew? I don't think it's that great.
Dude, I like, honestly, I like anything sweet. I have a sweet tooth, too. Yeah.
I have a sweet tooth, too. I do like... I'm trying to lay off it, but even it's like, okay, get some brownies.
But that's the thing, like, I don't... like. Okay, here's the thing. Like, once it's in front of me, I'll fucking eat anything and I'll enjoy it. But I will never, ever go out of my way to buy it.
Yeah, I get that.
But just like odd as shit, strange brew. But no.
We should just get a recording of me going strange brew. I was playing on even episodes of the fucking Anton or Juan. In these descriptions, Ruth Pomeroy recognized her son, who was called the Boy Torturer and the Red Devil.
The little boy torturer.
The Boy Torturer, not the little boy. It sounds a little better. And the Red Devil by newspapers. Quietly, she moved her family to South Boston. She's like, all right, I'm going to get out of here because that's clearly my son.
She didn't post it on Facebook.
Well, it's like, you remember when we talked about good old Paul Bernardo?
Yeah.
Where all his friends were like, oh, it looks like you, Paul, like slapping him on the back thinking it's funny. And it's like, no, he actually is the Scarborough rapist. You just don't know it. Because they said, oh, it looks like you, Paul. They make jokes, and it's like, but I don't know how they didn't clue in that it was him. I think when I remember right, if you go back in that episode, is I think that one of his friends did tip off the cops, though. So don't snitches get stitches.
Fuck yeah.
But
100%. 100p, motherfucker.
But in August 1872, a boy was found tortured on a beach, and another was found beaten, raped, and tied to a telephone post in September. It's cold out. Would be in Boston. That's kind of crazy that he literally tied a boy to a fucking telephone post and then essentially like mutilated him, raped him. One victim told the authorities that
how old was he? Sorry, at this point. Like, is this still like
13?
14?
He was 12,
Holy
13.
Fuck.
I know. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, man? One victim told authorities.
Go watch fucking TV.
They didn't have TV, man.
That's why they're all crazy.
Remember in
Remember berries?
don't you remember on that?
When there weren't so many Mexicans.
I'll always make me laugh when we were talking about the abduction case of Benny and Barty Hill, and you're like, they didn't have color photos in the 60s. I was like, yeah, they did. We're stupid, but we were pretty like buzzed on that episode too. It's funny how things slip your mind when you're drinking it too, though. You're like, you sure? And I was like, yeah, and I looked it up.
I still don't think they did.
Stick to your convictions, man.
It's all fake. It's government conspiracy to make you think that they had color photos earlier than they did.
One victim told authorities that the perpetrator had marbleized eye, so like Palmer, the white eye, which makes him a lot more creepier. Like it makes him like they could put him in like a serial killer movie. Yeah. Like in some sort of like even American Horror Story shit because he's some creepy boy with a white eye that rapes and mutilates everybody. So which quickly led to the arrest of 13-year-old Jesse Pomeroy. Facing 6 years in a state reform school in Westboro, Pomeroy's mother managed to get him released within months.
Oh, it looked, he just like cupped his balls and he's like, and he's trying not to make a noise, and it made me smile.
So, and honestly, back then, reform schools weren't a good thing.
They were shitty, you might say.
There you go. That was Alex. Jesus. Guess I'll leave that in.
Yeah, that's fun. You could have kept all that in. That would have been enjoyable. All right, go talk to your female friends for an hour.
You know what? I'm gonna get you proof.
He brought this girl over, and this you can keep in the podcast. He brought this fucking girl over, and she showed up dressed so fucking slutty that I averted my eyes. Like I was like, she was walking in with John, like she walked in, like she wasn't wearing fucking clothes. And I went, oh shit! Like put my hand over,
like
looked the other way.
Tube top and
like straight lingerie.
What? Like a bra and undies?
Pretty fucking close. Barely more than that. Anyways.
Describe her outfit.
Like a lingerie that covered the tummy.
Okay.
Like it was all lacy, but
what was she wearing on the 90%
bottoms? Of the boobs.
It was a lace bodysuit.
Yeah, it was a lace bodysuit.
What about her legs? Just exposed completely?
Like short. So she walks in, that slutty, like obviously just here to fuck. Mm-hmm. And they walk upstairs. And
what nationality was she?
I'm like, white.
She's a white chick?
Yeah, but anyways, it walks up.
Sounds like a white girl.
None of this matters, but like, actually, just the fact that she was dressed like that matters. They walk up, and I was like, okay, well, he's gonna go get pussy. I'm like, I'm going to bed. And then I woke up, and then she was gone in the morning. I was like, oh shit, what happened? He's like, we just talked for 3 hours, and then and then she went home. And I was like, oh, you didn't fuck? He's like, no, I couldn't. She just wanted to talk. She did not just want to talk. She showed up like that. She wanted to fuck so fucking bad.
I'm not leaving until I defend myself, okay? That was not
your defense is garbage.
I went up there. This bitch tried to ask me a shit ton of questions. I didn't even know her fucking name.
Do you have gonorrhea? Do you have syphilis? Do you have
She wanted to. She was pretty much just trying to make conversation until he touched her, but he wouldn't. So he's just like, my name's Jonathan, and I did pass high school.
I'm not doing anything until I get to know you, and I didn't want to get to know her. So after like an hour, I got impatient, and then motherfucker Alex slapped my wall, and that was my trigger point. She started commenting how the lizard was so cool. I'm like, no, get the fuck out of my house. And I took her to my car, thinking I was going to drop her off. What I did? I left her there, and I walked back.
How'd she get home?
I don't know, and I don't care. She didn't touch my car, so I don't give a shit. The bitch,
Well,
She didn't touch a cock either.
whatever. I agree with what you did. If she's gonna be a little whore and then be like, I want to get to know you.
She wasn't. She just wanted like 30 minutes of depth conversation to fuck. So she didn't felt so slutty. She showed up naked.
You're gonna buy a hooker. You're gonna buy a hooker and get to know her? No, she was here to fuck, and she did not want to fuck. She wanted to talk and fuck.
She just didn't want to feel like a hooker. That's the only thing. You just had to make her feel not like a hooker, and she would have fucked you. It would have taken like 15 minutes.
The way she was dressed, the way she spread herself over.
Yeah. She was ready to
Pretty
go.
much there. I'm not paying the bitch. Yeah. That's why I didn't even take her home.
All right, well, that was the conversation.
All right, that was Billy's story time.
See you later, John.
All right, get back into this. So, and obviously, like the mother realized, obviously, that's my boy. That's my beautiful baby boy. Oh no, he's on the front page of the newspaper for
murder,
for
and
rape.
rape.
No, raping
And
someone.
rape,
He just beat the shit out of kids at this point and raped them, which is like.
It's like, actually, you know what? I'm pretty sure my boy had brown hair.
Yeah,
I don't think that's actually my kid.
that just happened just today.
Yeah, that must have not been my kid.
I poured bleach in his eye just by accident, and that happened today. Yeah, but it's just I think that's fucking crazy, and the fact that she got him out of there. But imagine seeing your boy, and the thing is, I wonder what his dad would think if his dad saw this and stuff like that, because obviously his dad was aggressive, some historians say, and beat him. But obviously he was kind of gay.
Yeah.
In some way, he obviously liked, or some people aren't even gay. It's just like a power thing where it's like, I have more power over you, little boy. I'm older than you. And then you just, he's like, you got a hole there, so might as well.
Gross. That's fucking gross.
So Jesse Pomeroy had been out on parole for barely a month when a 10-year-old Katie Curtin disappeared from her home. So he liked a bit of the jab. He liked a little bit of the both. I don't know, a bit of the jab. I don't know if that's a saying, but I just made that up.
A bit of the jab?
He likes a bit of the both. A bit of the both.
He wants to be anti-vax, but he took his first shots, but none of the other ones.
None of the other ones. Since she was last seen at Ruth Pomeroy's shop where Jesse worked, authorities questioned him and searched the shop. And I don't know why I can't say
Try that again. One more and rewind, selector. Do you got a rewind button? Yes, you do. No fucking way you have a rewind button. Yeah.
Since she was last seen at Ruth Pomeroy's shop where Jesse worked, authorities questioned him and searched the store. I don't know, that was a sure. Though they found nothing. Next to the body of a 4-year-old. No, whatever.
His boot prints.
His boot prints. Horace.
What year is this? Pardon me?
Let me go back.
This is, you said early 1900s?
Yeah, 1847. 1874.
So
1874.
Let's talk about how many people would have different types of boot prints in that day. Very few.
There's one boot for everybody.
Pretty fucking much.
But they did have different shoes.
Yeah, but they would never have analyzed stuff like that back in the day. Like DNA
damn
just
right
became
they fucking did.
DNA only became a thing in like fucking.
They had to take clues like
80s.
that. How did they try to catch Jack the Ripper? They had to analyze certain clues, like how did he gut this prostitute? Did he cut her up the vagina or down the belly? Like they would analyze shit like that.
I think it was more of a guess.
Everyone that's out there, if you want to kill someone, make sure you wear not your shoes, because that's what they caught Richard. Well,
yeah,
not caught,
like nowadays, yeah.
Richard Ramirez's shoes. They started to catch on, and he realized because the news media released what shoes he was wearing. And then so he threw his shoes off the bridge because the news media let that slip.
Yeah.
It's fucked. So the boy had been nearly decapitated and dumped on the beach, which is fucking crazy. He literally almost sawed this kid's head off. There's something fucking wrong with this kid.
Probably.
When the police returned to question Jesse Palmer, they found scratches on his skin and blood on his clothes. And they're like, you can go. I'm just joking. Jesse Pomeroy was arrested on April 24th, 1874, and confessed after being confronted with Millen's body. Unfortunately For Jesse Pomeroy's family, things got a little worse after Ruth sold her store for much needed cash after the arrest. She's getting down her luck. And the new tenants discovered the decomposing corpse of Katie Curtin in her basement. Pomeroy confessed again. So he got caught essentially for...
Yeah, and as a little kid, he wasn't holding his own in that interrogation.
No.
Those cops were fucking on him. He's like, okay, I did it.
Look at, what's his name? Brandon Dassey from Making a Murderer. The kid was, like, not that intelligent. He obviously was kind of...
Yeah.
Oh, well, no.
Yeah, nice noise there, Tom.
But he wasn't the most intelligent kid. He just loved wrestling, and the cops are like, "Did you do it? Did you do it? Did you do it?" And he's like, "Yeah, I also like wrestling." Which I
see at that point too. They're so naive.
Yes,
and it's to the point that like you can almost convince they did it, even if they didn't fucking do it.
Yes.
And they would just say they did it.
Especially if you have some cognitive disability and stuff, which Brandon Dassey definitely had.
You'd be like, I'm pretty sure I did it. I think so. You're telling me I did it.
I probably did it.
Johnny.
Yeah, so which is crazy. So he got caught for Horace Millen, and then she's like moving her shit out, selling her store, and they fucking the new people that moved in found this chick's body, this little girl's body in the basement, which is so fucking crazy. So his trial began December 9th, 1874, shortly after Jesse Pomeroy's 15th birthday. It ended the next day. And although the jury rejected the defense of an insanity plea, they offered the boy leniency because of his age. You're young. Yeah, I know you like raped that kid and you almost decapitated that kid and you killed her and you killed Horace, but you're young.
That's all that matters.
You do stupid things. It's okay.
Fuck it.
The judge disagreed and sentenced him to death. Crazy. But obviously we know that he didn't die.
Yeah, well, clearly.
Deeming him too young
but he dug a tunnel out of death row.
I know, literally.
He was so young, he was sitting in the chair and the electromagnetic fields, like couldn't grab onto his.
And they know that it made him a superhero, and he became Electrode.
Yeah, it was just so lightly grazing him that he is now Electrode.
Well, I don't know if you'd want to get into it on the podcast. I think you would. I'd choose you for topics before I ask Anton and all the other fuckers. But like, one day if you want to we get into Alcatraz. Because Alcatraz
is sick.
So
yeah, fuck
crazy.
Yeah, that's mine.
So 100%. Crazy, man.
Yeah.
The guys digging out holes and putting a poster.
Yeah, why do you think it's shut down?
So nuts,
they're like, this place doesn't work anymore. We need to stop putting
These
people
guys
here.
got out with, I think it was like a spoon, and they just kept digging. I don't know if that's from the movie or not, but it's fucking weird. So deeming him too young for such a fate, the governor's office refused to sign the judge's order of execution.
Okay.
The strange thing is, though, if he was black, they would have killed him right away.
Okay.
Like there was a kid around the same time in the late 19th century, and it was a black kid that they accused of raping a white woman, and he was like maybe 13 or 12, and they put him to the frying chair, and there's horrific pictures of him sitting there like crying, like mortified by what's about to happen to him for something that they proved later on that he didn't even fucking do. So it's kind of crazy when you have those, like, you know, it's just like, well, probably was that kid. And the same thing happened when I was like in law class, and I've mentioned this before, where I had that teacher that used to be a lawyer, and there was this case of this black boy that got accused of this guy came up, shot his wife, and then almost shot the husband. But
accused her? Did he do it?
And then no, he didn't do it. And then they drove. The guy was obviously he was hysterical. His wife just got shot in the head. All this stuff. So the cops drove him around, and the first black kid he saw, he was like, "That's him."
That's the one.
And then they arrested this kid, and they put him.
His name was Alex,
and they killed him. It's fucked up.
I wish they fucking killed Alex.
So the governor's office refused to sign the judge's order of execution. After 2 years and 3 separate votes, Pomeroy's sentence was commuted to life in solitary confinement for life. Which would make you even crazier. He's coming out there like the fucking Joker.
Could you imagine how fucked up you'd be? Like, you already had the mentality that killing people is okay.
Yeah.
And then you proceed to. Thought he was taking my beer. I had to do a double take. Already come out with the mentality that killing people's okay, and then you get put into a fucking fine box room for life. Mm-hmm. So you're not coming out okay. But I just want to see, like, even, you know what? Honestly, even 5 years.
Yeah.
5 years of being put in something like that. Like, fuck me.
Solitary confinement fucks people up. It makes them go crazy. Like I've seen on that, like even those shows like 60 Days In, where people go in there for even a week and they think they're crazy after. They don't even know, like,
a week is grow fucking up. You're alone for a week. Grow up.
I will be bashing my head against the wall. I need human connection.
But honestly, even a year in that, where you're just like, you know how fucking clingy I'd get to the guy feeding me food?
I know.
He'd put the tray and I'd be like, give me your hand.
Yeah, and this is a quote for all the people with even all the stuff going on. Not going to mention too much of it, but how Joseph Stalin, in front of all of his, I think it was, I don't know if I have the whole story correct, but I think it was in front of his followers and his military and the people who followed Joseph Stalin, he took this chicken and he plucked it bare. And fucking, it is causing so much torment and anguish towards this chicken. And the chicken was plucked bare, little skinny old chicken. And then he fed it a couple times, some scraps, right? And the chicken,
just to keep it alive.
And the chicken kept following him around. And he's like, does not matter what you do to your people. If you torture them, do whatever, you fucking put them in horrific states of mind and shit. He's like, as long as you feed them a little bit of scraps, they'll keep following you. It's fucked up, man. And that's what the whole thing is.
But he rode a horse real nice.
Yeah. That's the whole thing is, like, even in today's society, right? You know, if you put a frog into boiling water, it jumps out. But if you put a frog into cold water and slowly boil it, it will just stay there until it's dead.
What? That's not true.
That is 100% true. Yes.
That would have been the coolest fun fact ever.
Oh,
I did not know that. That is the coolest.
Tomcat.
Yeah, that would have been the coolest fucking. I wish you told me that. I did not know that. That is such a cool fucking.
Isn't that fun?
Is that actually?
Yes.
Like, do you know that wholeheartedly?
Yes. 100% that is true.
No shit.
Yeah, and it just reflects on what society is at the end of the day, right? So it's crazy. So, like, you know how after his 15th birthday, his trial began, and then literally. The 16-year-old was incarcerated in Massachusetts State Prison on September 17th, 1876. So over the next 50 years, Jesse Pomeroy would try to escape at least a dozen times. He nearly succeeded after rerouting the gas pipes of his cell and triggering an explosion.
How old was he again?
16 at this time. And he was smart enough.
Paid so much attention in science class.
He's MacGyver, motherfucker. He just was like, because I see this pipe, it probably goes to there. Let's just reroute it and see what happens.
If you put a lighter up the gas. I learned that I brought in Axe hairspray.
Yeah. But what
do you mean rerouted? Like, this guy, like, unscrewed piping.
Yeah.
And turned it?
Somehow,
like, piping's solid. You can't just bend it.
This is also in the late 19th century where everything exploded. Everything exploded.
Yeah,
they just didn't know how to fight.
That's fair. Well, we were trying things, okay?
But the blast left him incapacitated. So, like, I just picture like a movie where he's like, all right, I'm going to get out of here. We're going to break out of jail. He rewires the pipes and it blows him against the wall and knocks him out. And he's like, woke up and all the fucking guards around him. He's like, oh, all right, well, I didn't go as planned.
Damn.
He's just like waking up from like, oh shit, that shit knocked me out. I didn't expect that explosion to be that big. It's just like, you're an idiot. In the end, he spent his life learning several languages. What languages do you think that he learned? German?
That's got to be one.
I bet.
He didn't. You don't have a list?
No, so several languages as far as they know in historical
and
accounts.
he's in prison at this
point. Yes. So he has obviously free time to get books and stuff like that.
Yeah. So he learned hood. He learned.
He learned Cockney, where it's just like, "Oi, boys, get you down to the cellar." Like he just like learned like shitty British accents and stuff.
Yeah, it's all the same language, but he just learned the accents with slightly different words. He's like, I know so many languages.
He's like, I know several languages, but he only knows the accents, but he just speaks in English every time. So he also wrote poetry. He's spitting some bars, yo.
Oh,
he's
he's spitting bars down there.
And allegedly invested in the stock market. So he wasn't in solitary confinement.
How did he? Yeah, I was gonna say actually that entire time, like, there's no fucking waves in solitary confinement the whole time.
Which is like
even learning languages. Like, who's giving you that shit? Like, what are you just grabbing a book? You see English words translated into Japanese transcripts, and you're immediately able to read it by yourself.
But at the same time, back then, obviously you got to argue that point that like it does say for the rest of his life he was in solitary confinement. But the guards get used to prisoners and they're there for life, so they come there every day to see them, give them their food, all that stuff. So they probably got some relationship with him where he was like, I want to learn about this or that, and they're like, all right, well, I'll give you this book, and then the guards he's like, I want to invest in the stock market, and then he's like, all right, here's a slip.
But he's not physically at the stock market though.
No, but they
it's not like it's online. He didn't have his iPhone 10
you know what
there.
He did? He was like, I'll suck your cock if you invest in the stock market for me. And then give me the money, even though I can't spend it in jail.
Oh, you can spend it in jail.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true.
100%, buddy. You know the difference between Crest toothpaste and no name toothpaste?
They didn't have Crest back then.
I'm just joking. Fuck.
But maybe he sucked this guy off to let him off the hook so he could invest in the stock market so he could pay Big Bubba off to not suck off Big Bubba.
Oh, or he could get fucking Hubba Bubba versus Big League Chew.
Yeah.
It was a competition.
I wonder in the late 19th century what the fuck you would get in jail though. Honestly, just cigarettes, cartons of cigarettes,
cigarettes, and I'm sure alcohol.
He was
brands and types of alcohol
lined with fucking cartons of cigarettes all around
100%.
him, and he had one of those visors that you play when you play poker. And he was just smoking cigarettes as he's fucking like flipping cards to himself.
That's it. That's all that matters.
So in 1929, he was transferred to the state prison farm in Bridgewater, Massachusetts, which is weird. Massachusetts.
Why does this keep happening there?
Bridgewater has a lot of weird, strange shit in there that me and Juan talked about. It's a lot of strange things going on there. To live out the rest of his days. 3 years later, he died of a heart attack, just shy of his 73rd birthday on September 29th, 1932. He was in jail
from 14 to 72?
16.
I'm sorry. Correct me. Heaven forbid it's 2 less years.
16 till 73.
He really got his youth there.
Do the math, man.
16 to 73?
Yeah.
So minus 10 is 63 57 years?
Is that crazy? Spent his entire fucking life in solitary confinement.
Well, no, he didn't, because he had stock market and learning languages. He did not spend his whole fucking life in solitary. Like,
he got a once in a while to walk the yard. I'm guessing they would have to let him do that. He's got to stretch his legs, or he's probably in there like crippled.
Maybe what they meant by life in solitary confinement was like 2 hours a day you go in a box.
Yeah. Especially back then. They were a lot more lenient, but then a lot more harsh when it comes to other shit.
Or maybe solitary confinement was like a dog crate, a dog crate.
Yeah.
So it's like it's all open ended, so you can still talk to people, but you're stuck in the crate.
Well, like in old timey prisons where they have like the hot box, and they put you on the yard in that fucking box that was brutally hot in the fucking sun.
Bro, I fucking love Prison Break.
I never watched that. My buddy was super into it though. Is it good? Have you seen Breaking Bad? Weren't you the one that said you didn't see it, or did you?
Yeah, I've seen Breaking Bad.
Okay, I was gonna say I know like 3 people
out of every show I've ever watched in my life. I don't think there was one more intriguing or better than Prison Break.
I'll have to get into that.
Prison Break is by far my favorite. I've rewatched that season, like all seasons, probably like 7 times now.
That's crazy.
That is like one of the best fucking shows
Guess
I've ever
what's
watched.
Got a new season coming out, bro?
Nosferatu?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah,
oh, wow. That was just right off the top of my head. No fucking way. Really?
They piloted it. They said, well, I don't think the pilot's gone through yet, but yeah, they said Billy literally tried to make me watch this show so many times that I finally watched it. I did enjoy it. I don't think it's the greatest show, but it is good for a horror.
If you want to talk about like great shows, like Prison Break's better than Nosferatu, but I was obsessed with it because I've never seen a good show at that caliber in so long.
Yeah.
It was there's all these shows that are binge worthy or whatever you
Yeah.
want to fucking call it. And then Nosferatu pushed that barrier for the first time I've seen in so fucking long that I was obsessed
Well,
with
I
it.
guess you probably don't have Apple TV, but C is a really good show.
No, I don't have that either.
Yeah.
The only shows in my life that I've ever like been obsessed with are Breaking Bad.
Yeah, Breaking Bad's amazing.
Prison Break is better than all of them.
Yeah,
And
really?
then I love Suits.
With fucking that pedophile.
I
in
like
it?
Suits. What? Who's the pedophile? Who's the pedophile? Who touched
never
little
mind.
kids in Suits?
Never mind. That's House of Cards. That Kevin Spacey.
Oh,
The kid.
I was like, what the fuck?
The theory is because we're almost at the end of this because he's in jail. He dies shy of his 73rd birthday. But that Kevin Spacey, like, there's theories that said he was the worst on Epstein Island. He would ask them to torture the boys more. Remember when we talked?
Yeah, I remember you telling me that was fact.
I said it's who knows, but
That is not what you said back then. You said, I have it on good authority.
that is probably correct. I just said I probably believe it because he just seems. And now
That is not what you said
Now-
back then. I want you to go back and listen
now
to how you
because
talked about
he
that.
killed all of his accusers, he's allowed back into fucking movies. Kevin Spacey's coming out with another fucking movie now soon. And because all of his accusers mysteriously died, just like the whole Clinton bullshit.
I did not fucking know that. How do you feel about that Alex scream?
Fuck yeah, Kevin Spacey's the shit.
Well, that's not the fucking answer I was looking for, but okay. I mean, like,
It is
to do something that fucked up and still come out with movies, like,
it's fucked.
you know what? Actually, this is the part of my brain that pisses me off. I almost admire that a little bit, kind of. Like, can't you understand that? You did the worst of the worst, and you made people just not care because you're such a charming
Yeah,
actor.
but then Lana Del Rey can't fucking make music because they think she's not a feminist because she said some shit against other bullshit. It's just like Kevin Spacey
that's
can
what I
rape
mean.
kids and come back to fucking film it.
That's what I
and then it's just
mean.
like these people can be canceled.
That's what I was saying. Isn't that kind of fun? Like,
It's so weird.
okay, admire might not have been the right word. Impressed was the right word. I'm impressed by that.
So by the time that Jesse Pomeroy died, I always want to call him Palmer. By the time he died, America had finally invented a term for his crimes: serial killings. And
So in the 30s.
they said the 30s, but as far as I fucking know, I thought it was the 1960s by the time the FBI coined serial killer. Like I'm pretty
That is
sure.
one quick Google search away.
Yeah.
Keep talking.
Although Pomeroy killed only 2 people, too few for a definition of a serial killer. His crime shared pathology that the American Psychological Association considers the hallmarks of a serial killer.
Damn. What year did you say?
I thought it was the 60s,
And what year did they say?
the 30s.
74.
I thought it was later than
The
that. 'cause
English term and concept of serial killer are commonly attributed to the former FBI special agent Robert
Yes.
Reeser,
Yeah.
who used the term serial homicide in 1974 in a lecture at Police Staff Academy in Hampshire,
Yep.
England, United Kingdom.
You ever seen that show? What's that fucking show? Look up the show that's based on that.
So 74. So somebody just kind of jumped the gun on this guy, and he's
Yeah.
like, he was the first one.
Oh, what's that show? Everyone was pissed they didn't renew the season.
There's a lot. I'm mad about a lot.
So look up serial killer show. Just do it quick for
A
me.
serial killer show?
Yeah, it'll come
What?
up.
What am I just gonna like list off everything that comes up?
Serial killer show.
Just
Netflix.
Google
serial killer show Netflix.
Serial killer
edit this.
show Netflix, and it's just gonna give me a list. What to watch? We got Mindhunter.
Mindhunters. Okay, let me say that.
No fucking way. That's the first one. No.
So it was like, it's like Mindhunter. That's what I thought because I watched that show and they did the whole cases with, they actually, that's why there are people that are pissed that they didn't renew the season because they started getting into the BTK and they didn't even catch him in this, but how they caught BTK was way later on with his floppy disk. But they show in this Netflix show where they got this term serial killers from. They start interviewing serial killers to understand other serial killers. Okay. So we're eventually going to get into the co-ed killer pretty soon, probably coming up into November. And we're gonna get into that and everything, but they would interview him to find out motives of certain serial killers. They interviewed Charles Manson and stuff like that. Like, he made a cameo in the show. And it's just interesting that this obviously researcher was way off. I didn't realize that obviously when I wrote it out that had that in there. But yeah, the term serial killer did not come out till the 70s. I said 60s because I was like shooting a little further back, but I swear it was later, and I fucking was always right.
Mm-hmm. You're always right, aren't you, Tom?
Usually.
Gotta be.
I was right about this fucking pandemic, though.
Stop. You always make your way to fucking... Whose fault was it?
Whose fault was it? What do you mean, the pandemic?
Yeah.
The Chinese. It's always the Chinese.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the reptilians.
Well, no, they're puppeting everything from behind the scenes. But like, so his crimes did share like pathology that American Psychological Association considers the hallmark of serial killers, a distinct pattern in sections and selections of victims, locations, and methods. You know what I mean? So like, there is serial killers that target specifically black women or prostitutes or gay men, like Bruce MacArthur, which we'll eventually get into because his trial's going like,
rides. Oh, his fucking shit is. I've actually mentioned that about 4 times. Yeah,
I know.
Now.
Well, I want to get through his trial,
name.
but we have to get to Bruce
Is that
MacArthur.
still going on?
Yeah, but they're still doing semi-trial stuff, and he got convicted. I'll have to look deeper into that because it's been back and forth for a long time. But we're going to get into that. We're definitely, because he's a Canadian serial killer. We love getting into those.
Well, from fucking Toronto, right?
Yep.
That's Toronto guy.
And he buried bodies in like planters that he did for his work. So to this day, there is not only there's only one other person in America who could actually contend almost with Pomeroy for the title of America's youngest serial killer.
What do you mean contend? Like, isn't there kind of like a date?
Well, it's just like
now killed
who's the worst youngest serial killer?
It's not the worst. It's who's the youngest. It's just the date of your age.
Well, a murderer named Craig Price in Warwick, Rhode Island, which we might get into one day, who killed his first victim in 1987 at age 13. Then killed 2 more at the age of 15 before he was arrested. So they're contending. They're the contenders. They're against each other. Jesse Pomeroy and Craig Price are boxing out. They're like UFC fighting style. Like, well, I raped this girl when I was 12. And he's like, no, I fucking killed someone when I was 13.
Oh my God.
So over his life, Jesse Pomeroy had spent 59 years in prison and reformatories confined as a ward of the state. It was the longest America had ever held someone behind bars.
This is a different guy, right?
No, this is Jesse Pomeroy.
I just said it was. I did the math on it, and it was 57 years.
You're
not
wrong.
59.
It's 59.
You said he died at 73.
Yeah,
and he was 16 years old when he went there. That's 57.
You're wrong.
63. No, I'm not wrong. Do the math.
It's wrong.
I'm not wrong.
Okay, maybe you're right.
I'm correct.
Well, they fucked up, or my research fucked up. But so which is crazy. He was as far as I don't know if it's to this day of 2021, but it's the longest person that was held behind bars. And headlines still called him the Boy Slayer.
I can't believe, like, at that point, like, why wouldn't you just kill yourself?
I know, but someone's just like,
I guess you make a life. You're like, this is life now.
Yeah, I'm hanging around with Billy Bob,
with my friends.
Thornton.
Everyone's feeding me. I'm not really working.
Yeah, exactly. Everything's for free. Charles Manson's like, get it, man? I'm in the system. You can't imprison me to my minds and my thoughts. I'm outside of this reality. You can keep me confined in a cell, but I travel with my mind.
Yeah, I'm putting you in the hot box.
yeah.
Come here, buddy. You're going in the hot box.
And then they look at him in a while. He's like, hey, Jesus, it's so hot in here. But I see you, Jesus. I see you above me.
Okay. Well, keep going, buddy. You're staying another 48 hours in here.
I keep shouting out, but Charles Manson will be coming definitely, if not the end of this year, by next year. And
I can't believe we haven't even fucking done
We're gonna
that
get it. It's gonna be a big topic, and I want to cover it in one episode. So get ready for 3 hours.
Yeah, I'm fucked because I guess it's time for. I'm so fucking. I'm not doing it again.
It's
time for Billy's Fun Fact of the Day. That took a lot of breath.
There.
I'm going to get evicted. Okay, this is dumb, but I kind of liked it. They're always dumb, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
But isn't it kind of like intriguing just to like think about the dumb stuff?
There's some that are better than others, and I wish you would find some that are like really fucked up fun.
No,
facts.
but I just like fucking like I like the whole point of this was just like to think of like something that you would never think about in your entire fucking life.
You've been doing this for a long time,
but
with
it's
this podcast
fact.
now.
Like, because this one is. You're gonna hate this. You're gonna be like, that's stupid. But like, if bees were paid minimum wage,
Okay.
for their labor,
Yeah.
a jar, and I love the guy that did the math on this. A jar of honey would cost about $182,000.
So what?
If bees were paid minimum wage, a jar of honey would cost $182,000.
Well, good thing they're not.
I know, but isn't that cool? Like, isn't that cool to think about? Like, that's how long that takes.
Yeah, I understand.
Isn't that fucking neat? Like, you would never have thought of that in your life. You would never be like, I wonder how long it takes to make. I know, but that's why it's fun facts.
I guess that's true. All right. You know where to find us, www.strangerepodcast.com. Get yourself some fucking merch. Support the podcast. If you want to support us, I got fucking 4 TikToks. Don't make me make a fucking 5th TikTok. But yeah, follow us. Get ready and watch out for the YouTube, because we're most definitely going to be doing a Halloween episode. We're going to dress up. We're going to have real fun doing it. It's going to be fun. So
it's going to be good shit.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. Love you guys. I'll be on as much as I can. Love you.
Are you gonna tell him? No, let me do it. Let me tell him what I did. I just took a shot of Kirby sick, and you're about to get a healthy dose of it. So get yourself comfy, come on, pull up a seat. You're about to witness something you probably will not believe. But first, let's make sure I'm playing it right. Shout out to the people who understand when I write. So if you're tapped out on some kind of syrup, you might want to realize it's time to grow up. Open up your eyes. What the fuck just happened? Little stupid punks taking craps, they're napping. You're paying them thousands for shitty songs. Take literally no skill at all. But I'm working hard, trying to build up a wall. I'm up most nights just reconstructing songs. My patience is gone, now it's time to choose. You got heartfelt songs or cracked up fools. Light switch on or low IQs. Yes, harm's done, I'm over you. Thought out lines or mumbled slang. You got all their time or done in the day. You got beautiful minds or shit for brains. Push new heights or failed 6th grade. So it's time we fight. We put them in their place, cause it's just not right to get to play the game. Here is a plan, we take a stand, and you can delete all this fucking shit from your playlist. Even if you don't like my rhymes, I'm fine. Peace sign, I'm right. Just fuck these guys, work together, build up a team. God damn, these kids are really bothering me. Honestly, I don't get it, explain it to me. Why the fuck in the world are you supporting infidelity? When did that become cool? Either weird one? Fucking over people who just loved you for so long? See, that's what it does, it implants an impression that it's okay to do wrong and just be a shitty person. But nah, fuck that, as a matter of fact, I've heard enough crap rap, we need to take it back. I need your help, guys, take their lives, and you can open up a spot for jacked up minds. Go take time just to gather your thoughts. Appreciate the start the black culture brought us. Look up Snoop, Cuban Dre, you can even venture off to some M&J, and then all new stuff like Web and Logic, Verse of Echo with Trey Flip and Hobson. See, that's the kind of stuff that I fuck with, but I don't want to hear you bitch because you started this.